So here I'm setting up, I'm doing these pod speeches, I'm asking people to make sense, to be sensible. Here's the evidence, I want you to keep in mind I'm somebody who's trying to protect archives, among other things. I'm trying to protect archives. These archives pertain to national security. The rule of empirical methodology says you immediately fund whatever funding is needed, and you immediately pursue the criminals involved. This is a RICO type thing. You're going to be going for court orders by the minute. You're going to be going after and retrieving this material that's been stolen, but instead, that's not what's been happening. So I'm the guy trying to fight and protect national security, trying to protect archives. Items that are protected by the Constitution with laws that have at least 3 overlapping areas of the death penalty. But instead, what I run into is people in the justice system that are corrupt, that are threatening. They're diabolically opposed to truth. They're diabolically opposed to advanced science. So the justice system is actually attacking archives. Death penalty area. And prosecutors won't do their job. You walk in, you give them definitive evidence repeatedly about what people are doing, and bang, they don't want to prosecute them. They're interfering with the process of elections. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to move the country forward. And I'm asking, I'm asking people, please, could you go through the material that I sent you? It's important. It'd be nice if you could get guys like, you got a lot of different people got a hold of information. You got Al Franken. Al Franken has been getting stuff from me on and off for years. I met Al Franken. I'm sure he doesn't remember me, I guess, but, he's going to endorse people. And it's going to be one of the most embarrassing moments of his life, that he ignored people of high caliber science that brought material through him, and he misses it. And he's going to be one of these people to push people forward, as Harris is somebody who needs to be put in prison. But we have all these people running around trying to get her as the main line Democratic candidate. The corruption, the massive corruption of fighting to protect people's lives, has to deal with corruption that's massive. Because the horror and the history of what the Democratic Party is on the verge of doing is mind-boggling. I have an archive. I have some of the most incredibly violent crimes committed against an archive in the history of the nation. The largest violations of national security in the history in our history. The enormity of the compressed information within the archive. You need to think about horrible tragedies, to compare it, horrible tragedies. The Library of Alexandria burning. The city of Washington being burned to the ground by the British. We're talking horrific events, because you have to understand that people live in a compressed age. I have one hard drive that has more than 1 million books in it, and that's an old hard drive. I have a newer hard drive that has 14 million books in it. I have hard drives where you could put 100 million books in them. So when you're talking literally about an archive, just one milk crate full of hard drives, the amount of information that was so hard to build, so hard to rework, critique that information. Just one milk crate is like destroying the Library of Alexandria. And the Constitution has no leniency whatsoever. This is death penalty territory. Death penalty. And so you have people that are trying to somehow ignore the truth, be in mass dereliction of their jobs, refuse to prosecute people. The horror of what we are allowing some human beings to do. It's mind-boggling. We have criminals running for office. Convicted criminals. The horror. And the Democratic Party is on the verge of making that horrible mistake. I should be the Democratic front-running candidate. But people like Harris in her office refuse to do their jobs. When we go to their office and say, look, we've got police officers harassing filed presidential candidates right here. They're like, we don't care. Look, they've completely created erroneous stuff. They're blacklisting people. Look, here's the evidence. Here's what laws they violated. We need them immediately prosecuted. No, we don't want to do that. So she takes money from Donald Trump, and hers attack me. And they destroy archives. I was the first. I'm a reoccurring presidential candidate. Trying to bring sanity. Trying to build the largest, greatest archive in the history of the world with the most power to be able to fix the economy, to repair everybody's lives, to repair the justice system. It's massive. It's massive. And we have destroyers. They are destroyers. They are destroyers of your many worlds. That's who they are. This is quite a horror. And here we have the Democratic Party. We have people that refuse to check the truth. They're picking people based upon a glorified, falsified resume. Julie Sue. They're picking these people by glorified resumes. By references from people who didn't bother to check the facts. A huge collection of people writing flowery letters that are meaningless. When the truth is, I'm trying to save people's lives. I'm trying to get cold medicine back on the shelf. I'm trying to stop the horror. We have a death toll. They remove quality cold relief medication from the shelves. They're told in advance you're going to get people killed. If we have a pandemic, it's going to be monstrous. And we had a pandemic. So now you have to compare their grandstanding, their memeism, to Vietnam. If you're comparing the death toll of the effect of removing cold medicine from the shelf, cold and remedy medicine from the shelf, it's only comparable to Vietnam in reality. The death toll nationwide. And look at these people. They're refusing to even acknowledge what they've done. These people are dead. They're refusing to acknowledge it. They haven't even got to the point yet where they're going to apologize to people. So here I'm a guy trying to bring archive, to bring science, to bring sanity. And what we have are people in shame, just for what has already happened so far. If by some miracle people turn away from the darkness, put the punch down, put the tea down, just walk away. Please step away from the criminals. There's a campaign right over here to save people's lives immediately. Immediately. But they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. So the shame for the next 100 years, every child's school book is going to have the horror of the damage done to the archive, of the election rigging, busted red-handed. The shame, and for all this shame to end up coming and being seated on the Democratic Party. It's just amazing. So, I can only ask people, please don't do this. Don't do this. Pick a winner. Pick a winner. I'm the winner. Pick a winner. Don't pick a loser. Pick somebody who's going to save your life, who's going to give you back your cold medicine, so that the next time a pandemic comes through real heavy, that you have a chance to save your life, that you have a chance to reduce that spread signature. Because that spread signature is responsible for deaths that exceed more than 25,000 people nationwide. That's the no-brain territory. A more intensive investigation would be better, but do you see these people wanting to put money to do more proper scientific testing at a scale that we really need done so we can understand this? I mean, to many people, it's a no-brainer. The spread pattern stuff, that's very easy stuff that just kind of, boom, naturally comes to your head really on the quick. And you have these people, well, where's the evidence? Well, how does that work? Wow, these people's brains are really not clicking right. People, we have to put a stop to the lunacy. Join my campaign and embrace the best chance to save your life and your future. Save this nation. Michael Crosby for POTUS 2024.